This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by American Helix. The American Helix is a revolutionary new concept in smoking technology. Designed and manufactured by American glassblowers, this pipe is light years ahead of its time. Based on Bernoulli's principle, the shape of the pipe, along with an innovative intake system, creates a Venturi effect through precision microholes in the chamber, which results in a slower burn that conserves tobacco and gives a smooth, refreshing experience, making the American Helix the smoothest hitting pipe on the market. For further info or to locate their products, you can find them online at AmericanHelix.com. That's AmericanHelix.com. This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Mountain Glass Arts. For the month of August 2016, Mountain Glass is offering their Chinese color and clear rod and tubing at 40% off. Just put in the code CHINESE, that is CHINESE, at checkout. And for all you soft glass nerds, they're having their Effetre sale, 30% off rods. COE 104 sale, just put in the code Effetre, that's EFFETRE, in checkout, and you'll receive 30% off. Any questions, comments, or concerns, just go to mountainglass.com. That's mountainglass.com. This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode number 120. This is Jay Michael, your host. Thank you so much for tuning in today. With 17 years of experience behind the torch, I am as excited as always to bring you conversations with artists, sharing their stories in hopes to inspire and entertain while helping you grow your business. And today is no exception. Today's guest we have is Mike Luna. Mike Luna has been a badass glass artist since 1999, and definitely had a fun conversation with him and lots of fun chit-chatting and talking about glass blowing and all kind of good shit. Definitely hope you all enjoy this conversation. He's got lots of pictures and fun stuff I will have up in the newsletter. If you have not yet subscribed to the newsletter, you can just go to wiseguymedia.com, and as soon as you go to the website, if you haven't subscribed yet, you'll get a little pop-up gimmick that'll come on there and say, hey, why don't you join our newsletter? And that'll keep you up to date in all things Wise with Wise Guy Radio and Wise Guy Media. Also, don't forget, if you have not yet signed up also for our Secret Santa Christmas in July pendant trade, deadline is August 15th, no later than 15th. I will be accepting your information, which basically I just need you to email me or Facebook me, whichever you'd like to do, or Instagram, whichever is more convenient for you. Preferably, I like the emails, but just need your full name and shipping information, and then the wife and I will be swapping out and randomly pairing you with another artist, and then you'll be getting their information, they'll be getting yours, and then you can go from there. Last episode, I did a little bonus chit-chat talking about this whole thing there, so you can go back one episode, or actually 2 episodes, you can go back and listen to the bonus episode talking about all the details, as well as if you've gotten the newsletter, it's in there too. So you also don't forget, coming up here next month in September, the Flow magazine has their collaborative issue coming out, which I'm super pumped about to see what that's going to be carrying, different artists collabing with each other, different mediums, whether it's metal work and glass, but there's definitely glass involved, so I'm kind of really curious to see what else is going to be coming out. You guys can go to flowmagazine.com and subscribe to them. You can also buy individual issues and also back issues. You can also subscribe to their digital online version as well. I know myself personally, I prefer to have the paper in hand, but you can go do that. And also, Mountain Glass right now is offering several new items they have on their website. Right now, they have their new offering the new Candy Apple Red Wonder tubing that North Star is putting out. It's pomegranate over steel wool. Stuff looks pretty freaking awesome. I'll definitely be getting me some of this stuff to try it out a little bit. They also have their Essentials Toolkit you can get right now, the upgrade kit. Basically comes with like diamond shears, cup shears, blow hose assembly, a V-tool, Kevlar gloves, bench roller, etc. They have it right now going. It's up for $300. It's $299. Also, you can get their Hype Color Boro Color Top 20 sample packs. Basically, it says, why try to figure out the best glass-blowing Boro colors to purchase when you can just get the top 20 Boro Color sample pack? Choose full sticks, 15 to 20-inch longs, or half sticks, which are 7.5 to 10 inches long. The sample pack comes with 20 of the hottest and most popular colors in the Boro palette. So definitely check them out. And lots of other new items and products. Just go to mountainglass.com, go to their featured items page or their sales page. You guys can go check all that stuff out for sure, including their current Boro and soft glass sale for everybody out there. Definitely want to get in there and check it out. I'm going to be ordering some of the new Chinese yellow tubing. I'm really curious about it to see how that stuff works. Make some small stuff out of it and then go from there. Kind of curious. I like yellow. So that's a transparent yellow too. If you haven't seen it yet, almost has like a honey color to it. Not an amber, but kind of a honey yellow, like the North Star yellow kind of color going on. So pretty pumped. Other than that, I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Let you guys go. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter yet, just go to wiseguymedia.com. You can also go to wiseguyradio.com. It'll just redirect you to the Wise Guy Media page. Just go on there and you can subscribe to our newsletter with a little pop-up that comes up. I need to create a little menu bar that will let you subscribe with that also. And then if you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, what the hell are you waiting for? Just go to iTunes, whichever type of podcast player that you have. You can go to iTunes. If you have a Droid, you cannot. But if you have an iPhone, just go to iTunes and subscribe there. Just search Wise Guy Radio in the search engine for iTunes. You can find us also on Google Play. And then depending on what kind of phone you have, if you have a Droid, there's lots of other podcast apps out there. And you can get them through the Droid. Stitcher is one of the more popular ones. So you can definitely go from there. And then I wonder how many of you all are out there now are using the new Instagram Live. I'm going to be using it more than I will be Snapchat. I'm not really big into Snapchat except for their facial recognition technology that I find to be pretty fucking cool because it's now shows you how affordable that technology is. It's also kind of crazy and scary, but I love it. Other than that, I don't really use Snapchat, but I will be using Instagram Live now way more often, as well as doing the videos and uploads and stuff too. So definitely check all that stuff out. Stay up to date with all of us here at Wise Guy Media. Check me out at jmichaelglass, JMICHAEL Glass. And also the Wise Guy Radio Instagram page is Wise Guy, WYZGUI _radio. And then Mike Luna, who's our guest today, you can find him on Instagram, Mike Luna 300. That's the number 300, not letters. And then also you can find him out there on Facebook. Just put in Mike Luna. He'll come up there as well. And again, I hope you guys enjoy our conversation. We had a lot of fun chit-chatting, talking about cells and color working and all kind of stuff. And the lightning round also, or the crash and the killing round, I should say, we got into more conversations about the same type of stuff as topics came up through the questioning. So other than that, I'm going to get the hell out of here. You guys take care of yourselves. Enjoy this episode. You listening to me while you're on the beach or while you're on the treadmill or behind the torch or pooping or driving your car or truck or bike or moped or whatever you're doing right now. Hope you are safe and you enjoy the show. Hey, maybe you're playing Pokemon Go. If so, let me know what color you are, what team, and maybe what level. Because myself, I am Team Yellow, and I am a level 19, almost level 20. Oh, yeah. Been catching me them damn Pokies. I'll talk to y'all. I'm rambling. Talk to you soon. All right. See you. Peace. Hey, what's up, Mike? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Pretty good, brother. Thanks for coming on here, man. I definitely I'm super pumped to have you on here and share your story with the audience. I've been following your work for many, many years now, and you've been a big influence in my style and my work, and definitely happy to have you on here and share this journey you've been on. Kind of, if you want to get us started off by telling us where you got started.
Sure, man. Well, let's go way back to 1999 when I was living in Los Angeles and working at AutoZone. And my brother lived in Oregon, which is where I'm currently out of. And he was blowing glass for about a year. And he basically found a little opening for me to come in and work with him. And so in about 99, he gave me a phone call that changed my life. And he said, "Hey, you want to blow glass?" And I said, "Sure." So I hopped a Greyhound with everything that I owned, which was like nothing because I was like 19 or 20. And then, came up to Oregon and started working production, started doing little spoon pipes and stuff under Gilbert Velasco. He owned a studio called the G Spot. And, that was a long time ago. I met a lot of great people like Darby, who took me under his wing and showed me the ropes, and that's basically the man. Yeah.
So was it like a production facility? They have like catalog and all that kind of big stuff back then?
Yeah, they did. They did like a full line of different little like one hitters and spoons but I never really wanted to conform to that production. I would always get in trouble for making like 2-piece pipes, If I made a hammer, I would get in trouble. So, but it was fun. It wasn't like big trouble. So I was like, all right, let's see what I could get away with.
Right. Yeah, just kind of enough to learn some new stuff. Did they really have like a catalog that was kind of like, okay, you guys can make 20 of this and 50 of that as like quotas for the day?
It was loose, he owned a head shop too in the same town, which it's called Toadstool in Grants Pass, Oregon. It's kind of a one of the first like heady head shops in Grants Pass, and he sold all kinds of different work, Jerome Baker and a bunch of different stuff, but we were like his little production shop.
Yeah, nice. It's interesting now too, seeing some smoke shops that are doing that. They have their opening studios just to hire people to come in to not only demo but also to create work for their stores.
Right, yeah.
It's a smart business model. Plus you're supporting your locals, I guess, in a sense too, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, there was like 15 of us in there, and he definitely made everything work for us,
Hell yeah. So when you started doing
awesome.
stuff with Darby, did you go to Darby's studio or was it in the same studio space?
Yeah, he kind of he would come in, and I remember everyone was like, "Oh man, Darby's the best," and I never met him, but I always heard, good things about him. And then when he came in, I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" So I met him, and he was kind of like a rock star, so I was kind of nervous around him. And he found out I was from Los Angeles, and he was going to a show in Los Angeles. And he was like, "Man, I've never been there. If you want to go with me, you can show me around." And I was like, "Sweet." So while I was down there, we were at a gallery opening in Hollywood, and he's like, "Hey, if you want to learn how to do what I do, make a couple days out of the week and come hang out with me." So
rad.
As soon as I got back, I got right on that.
Hell yeah.
Super awesome.
So I take it you walked away from AutoZone and said, "Fuck it, I'm out of here."
Oh, dude, yeah. 2-week notice, and then like a week into that 2-week notice, I was like, I can't wait anymore.
That's funny.
Yeah,
I burnt bridge. You're not too worried about.
Totally.
That's awesome. So when you started doing stuff with Darby, what were some of the first things he was having you do in terms of like that apprenticeship?
He taught me how to do like more 2-piece welds and bridging. There was something going around called bridging that it's pretty common today, but back in the day, in the late 90s and early 2000s, nobody really knew how to get these curves, kind of like how the Z from the zongbongs are.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knew how that was going down, and he knew how that worked, and he passed that knowledge on to me. So I was able to make a bunch of different shapes while keeping the glass straight, while keeping the mouthpiece straight to the bowl. And just kind of manipulate the glass how I wanted to.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, you're lucky to have, I don't like to use the word luck. I guess I should say fortunate to have that opportunity, because like myself being self-taught, I never saw anybody do bridges and none of that kind of shit up until maybe like 4 years ago, and I'd heard about it, but it was kind of like I was always more concerned about having that extra glass on my glass, extra welds, extra heat, cooling, everything else. Just for stress, I was always like, oh, I don't want to do this. And now that I'm doing bridging on my stuff, it's like I have like these scaffoldings now that are built around my pieces. Even when I'm doing stuff at Disney now, people are like, "What's that for?" And then I had to explain to them like what I'm doing, and then it makes total sense,
Right. Yeah. A lot of people don't realize when they see it that it's going to come off later. They're like, why are you putting all that extra crap on there?
Exactly. Yeah, give me an hour. Come back later. You can see later.
Yeah,
it's like.
For sure. Definitely.
Yeah, it's cool.
And so he was showing me all that kind of stuff, and just, being around such a master. And that guy has always been light years beyond anybody, in my opinion. And, man, just hanging out with that dude and sharing ideas back and forth took me to a whole nother level. And actually, he would tell me, because there was 15 other guys in the shop that I worked at. So when I'd go to his house, I would work with him, and he'd show me the secrets, because back then there was a lot of secrets. And he specifically was like, don't share these with the other guys, because I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And so, so I tried to keep it to myself, but I was hardly able to work because everybody was on different schedules, so I didn't really have time to work. And so, it was kind of difficult to keep those secrets at bay and still be able to pump out good work,
Yeah, it makes total sense. Yeah, it's like you got to put a big clother behind you or something so nobody can see
it.
it.
Exactly. That's how I kind of felt like. And then I felt I felt kind of like a jerk because everybody was like, oh, he knows all this cool stuff and he won't show anyone. So it was kind of, you find out who your friends are,
Yeah, for sure. But, that was the mentality, like you're saying. Like, I mean, shit, dude, there's so many guys in my area that were the same way. Like, I'm not showing you fucking nothing because you're competition.
Right.
No matter what your level was, whether you just started or have been doing it for 20 years, they didn't give a shit.
Right.
But nowadays it's like it's freaking open source. All of it. I mean, hell, I got a podcast talking about it. So, it's totally different now. It's neat. So did he teach you like a lot of his dichroic work and all that kind of fun shit he was doing?
Yeah. He taught me how to back dichro and what dichro to buy, which is like really crucial because everyone was using CBS, which is a Sandberg, and that stuff is so thin. It has such a thin clear coat that as soon as you use it or manipulate it, it burns out. Yeah. So it's like, he taught me the right company to go through to buy the thick coated stuff and then how to coat it. And, that stuff's just golden. Like, what's it called? Dichroic Alchemy in Ashland, Oregon. Those guys make the best dichro,
Yeah,
so
I
if
agree.
you're going to mess with dichro, that's the company right there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely have gone through myself through the sample packs and over the years of trying different companies and brands, and I've always liked the Jade, I guess it is.
Yeah.
It's like that stuff you can just beat the hell out of it, and it still is just beautiful.
Right. Yeah. A lot of the purples like to fade really quick, but the greens are really solid.
Yeah.
Greens and reds.
Hell yeah. So when you guys were doing your work together, was there a lot of like collaborative kind of stuff so he can teach you the ways of technique wise, or was it mostly just like show you stuff and then you figure it out and do your own thing?
Yeah, there wasn't too much collabing. Back then, collabs didn't really happen the way they do now.
Right.
Like, I remember he made a bong for Stained. There was a band that was popular. Aaron Lewis was the lead singer. So he was making that bong, and it was going to go on the cover of High Times. And he knew I loved the band, so he's like, hey, you want to make a section for the bong? That was like, oh, okay, sure. So I made a little section, and it got put in the piece, and it was on the cover of High Times. Nowadays, we'd call that a collab, but, back then it would just be called, like, I don't know, hooking a homie up,
like it's game of section.
So, yeah, here, put a section in my piece. Yeah. But, so it was a lot different back then. A lot of stuff has changed.
Hell yeah. So, what point in time did you decide to fly the nest and go on your own?
You know, I still work with Darby. You know, he's still pretty much my best friend, and I don't know. I just kind of always sold my own work. He helped me a little bit at first, but I just kind of found my own sources and you know, just kind of in the same shop flew off on my own. You know,
Yeah.
made my own nest. You know,
Heck
but,
yeah.
yeah.
So, how's your studio? Like, where you at now? What studio wise?
I work at DC Glass in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Okay.
It's about 30 miles from my house, and yeah, it's just got a nice little bench set up right there, and yeah, just make my own stuff.
Nice. Who else you got in there?
We have Caleb, which is Darby's oldest son, and then Darby's twins blow glass too, Ezra and Isaiah.
Yeah.
And then
right.
sometimes his wife blows glass, Leela.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
So yeah, we have this huge shop and only like 3 or 4 people working there.
Huh.
It's kind of awesome though.
Yeah, I could imagine, man. Just just the small amount of you all in there, just the energy, I'm sure, is pretty cool. Especially with the amount of time you've been together doing your glass.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's like one big family, you know.
Yeah. So when you started doing your own thing, like what was some of the first kind of items you were making on your own?
I'd always do like more traditional stuff, like hammers, Sherlocks, with nice crazy spike attachments. As I started progressing, I would get more into like marbles and things to hang off the piece, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of that era's thing, you know. Early 2000s was like dichroic ribbons, and then spikes started getting. So I'd always move with the times, you know. And then the more sculptural work came about when Joe Peters, who is like my ultimate influence, I love that guy and his work. He came through to the shop, and Darby and him made a ray gun with a bunch of aliens hanging off of it. And man, as soon as I saw him work and his work, I said, you know, I got to make something with eyes too. You know, I went away from that whole traditional thing and just full force went into the sculpting thing. It's just that guy is such an inspiration, man.
Yeah, he definitely has influenced my work. I took a class from him and Peter Moeller. I think it was about 2 years ago now.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was only like the second class I'd ever taken, and it was one of those. I wasn't really there for the class necessarily. I wanted just to see how these guys worked, you know, more than anything.
Right.
Like how their bench was set up, how their tools, what tools they used. I mean, shit, dude, I was on Mountain Glass's website just ordering tools left and right because every time I see something new they were using, I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I always scope out people's tools for sure.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. I think like one of the things when you're taking a class or learning from another artist is really to, you know, I always say watch hands, how the hands move, and then also watch tools and what tools they use and how they're laid out on a table. Because it seems like, you know, to be more efficient, to have your tools in the same place every time, your glass is always set up in the same place. I mean, you know, we're all lazy at times and have messy benches, but you know, it's still seeing these guys work, seeing how organization really makes a difference in your work. Because you have all this, you know, this clarity and creativity all of a sudden just flows, just like no problem.
Yeah, definitely. But then again, you have the contrast to that. You got banjo that most of the time works in a complete chaotic bench environment and just pulls out these beautiful masterpieces, you know. So
yeah.
I guess it works both ways, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's all. I think in the end, it's all just controlled chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when it comes down to it.
Controlled chaos, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's so crazy. So when you're starting to get into your sculptural stuff, like besides, you know, before you got into your dragons, what were some of the first stuff you were doing?
I was just doing like little aliens and stuff, you know. I was kind of eyeballs and green, you know, a lot of that sort of alien themed things. I remember I made a bunny, and that was kind of where I was like, all right, now we're getting somewhere, you know. I think it's my first picture that I ever posted on Instagram. So yeah, you know, and then, you know, once I made the bunny, the dragon came shortly after that. And I don't even think I set out to make a dragon first. I think I was going to make a horse or something. And then the face started looking more dragon-esque. So I grabbed some whiskers and started putting those on, and then it all came together. And it's a really, my first dragon is a really goofy looking dragon. The eyes are all kind of wonky, but I don't know. For some reason, I like it. It's probably, in my opinion, it might be my best one. You know?
Yeah, I probably, if I haven't, I'm sure I've seen it, but yeah, I know how that is, man. You always find like the first thing you do, and that with that artistic kind of just expression, always seems to be the best,
Right.
and then you try to recreate it.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. And yeah, and it's like, I guess it's beginner's luck or something. Goes back to those things, you know.
Yeah, you know, it's weird. I don't know if it's just because, you know, art is just such a weird cosmic thing, you know, whatever. I don't even know what the hell you want to call it. But I don't know, man, because like for instance, with my work at Disney, like, you know, the first piece is always the artistic piece, and then I got to figure out how to engineer this thing to then mass produce it in the same
Right.
steps every single fucking time. And even whether you're doing, you know, like your dragons. I mean, your dragon, to me, it's it's your high end production piece. It's you know,
Right.
right now it's your voice is your dragon, but you know how to make that thing almost exactly the same way every single time. And that way too, when you collab with other artists, the collaboration goes much more smoothly because you know
Right.
the steps to get to where you need to get to.
Exactly. Yeah, dialing it in. Exactly. Like you make the Olaf so perfect. It's that same thing. It's
Yep.
just like it's production, but it's like it's still really good art.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude, because like when you start getting into like your color combinations and the different, you know, even new colors coming out or whatever that you're doing with your dragons, I'm just like, every time I see a new one, I'm like, oh my god, thing's fucking incredible.
Thanks, man.
Oh yeah,
Thank
dude.
you.
I'm in love with your dragons. The style of them is it's weird because they're not Asian and they're not English. They're like this kind of cross, and it's like this fantasy dragon kind of, but then it's not. It's a traditional looking dragon, but then it's not. You know, it's interesting. What
Right.
is the influence from anything out there that you've seen, or is it just what it evolved into?
It was actually really influenced from the Asian, like the tattoo, the Japanese dragon. You know, the really wispy whiskers and that whole thing. But it kind of like, I guess it evolved into this fantasy type. I guess it's like half fantasy, half Asian.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's really going on, but I guess that's how I describe it. And then, you know, along the way, I just find out how to do things different or better and try to improve upon the design. And, yeah, I'm not trying to go quicker or anything. As a matter of fact, I used to be able to bang out a dragon in a day, you know, like 2 or 3 years ago. And now they take me almost a whole week, you know, about 5 days. So I'm definitely adding more glass and taking my time with them more. And, yeah.
So have you been experimenting with like the perk, you know, part of it? Because I noticed like say Skaz, for instance, or even like Joe P's, like his dragons, you know, they have like the 2-hole perk at the tail, where you have a standard joint on the back. Like have you gone back and forth, like maybe experimented with different types of percolation with them and how they function?
Yeah, I'm always trying to improve upon function. They're pretty good right now. I'd say that they're dialed in as far as function goes. Sometimes I make a hollow tail, so I'll bend the percolator in almost all the way to the tip of the tail and then pop a 2-hole perk. And then when the tail's solid, I'll just go straight down with a 2-hole perk.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I've gone from 4-hole shower heads, cut slits to blown holes, and now I think that the 2-hole perk is where it's at for that design.
Yeah, I
you can
agree.
hit it as hard as you want, and the water won't come up the neck. You know.
Yeah, one of our ongoing jokes here is whether it's a 5-hole or a 2-hole or a whatever 20-hole, it smokes like a fucking 2-hole.
Yeah,
You know?
totally.
You know, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, I need a 20-hole. Dude, really?
Yeah, you're just wasting your time at that point.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like my little wise guys I make, I was going back and forth with like figuring out like to like make my holes, opposite sides of each other, or in a streamline like the old gridded perks or like the old inlines type styles.
Right.
Just because the shape is kind of this peanut shape to get to where I can get the most aeration without any splash. And I always found just like that simple 2-hole, just a nice even popped holes. Just they're classy, they feel good, they look good.
Right. Yep.
It doesn't stress the glass out like the old gridded, sliced old perks used to do.
Right. Yeah, man, 2-hole perk, dude. It's so simple and it works so effective. That's the way to go for me.
Yeah. Are you still doing any of your elephants?
I haven't done an elephant in probably over a year. It was kind of a thing, I don't know if you know Domino Glass.
Yeah.
He makes. Yeah, so I love that guy. He's super awesome. And I hit him up and I really wanted to make an elephant because I always draw elephants. And so I wrote him a private message and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I try an elephant?" And he's like, "Yeah, go for it." So, out of respect to him, I haven't went full on with the elephants. I've only made about 5 of them and a couple woolly mammoths. So yeah, I don't really go after that just because he's already there and his elephants are so awesome that, I'm not trying to compete with that guy because he's a good friend.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, man, because I'm the same way. I'll contact somebody before I do something because I'm the same way. I'm like, this is your thing. I'm not trying to copy your shit, and I don't want to sound like a pussy for calling you either because I respect your work, But here's
totally.
Because I agree, man. Because like with my owls, for instance, like Shack Man's been doing owls for a long time, and his owl is completely different than mine. So I was like, I wasn't concerned about just making owls, but I see a lot of cats out there that are making items. I hate to keep bringing up Shobo's goblins all the fucking time, but it's like the best example everybody knows about.
Yeah.
Do you have inspirations for your color combinations that you do? Like, is there anything?
Graffiti art, man. That's where I started. Living in Los Angeles, I was a troublemaker, I guess you'd say,
Right.
troublemaker / artist. So I always knew about the dopest combos. I know kind of what works together, and that just kind of went over to glass really easy. And it's funny. A lot of people say good things about my color combos, and I guess I owe that to graffiti, helping me with that whole thing.
Yeah, I can see it now. Like I'm looking at this one that's like I want to say it's blue cheese and like a serendipity combo or something. But yeah, I can definitely see that in your work. That definitely that contrast in colors. Like myself personally, I suck with color. That's something I've always just whatever reason I've taken fucking classes the whole 9 yards, and I just suck at color. And
it doesn't show, man.
I appreciate
the stuff
that.
I've seen is really nice.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I maybe with my painting and drawing. I don't know. I guess I can translate it a little bit better in glass. But even like my wife's an art teacher, so I still even go to her with like, "Hey, honey, what do you think about this?"
Right.
Get
Yeah.
some feedback from her.
For sure.
Because she's like probably my best and worst critic out there in the world. She tells me how it is, But
that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it
That's
definitely
awesome.
helps. It helps to have that someone that is going to be honest about like saying, "Yeah, that sucks."
Oh, dude, and that's why I love Darby. He's not going to code anything, and he's told me a bunch of times when I pulled a piece out of the kiln if it's good or if it sucks. And a lot of people get discouraged or butthurt or but that's helping you out. That's like constructive criticism, and if you don't learn from that, then you're not going to learn shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to. Makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love when people say, what sucks about my work, because you don't hear that. 99% of the time, everyone's going to kiss your ass, even if they don't mean it,
Yeah.
But those honest people.
Yeah.
But there's a fine line between being honest and a hater,
Yeah, totally. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole
Definitely.
constructive criticism, it makes a big difference. Because like I've said it before, I can see cats that are new in the industry making stuff that they probably shouldn't be making right now, and they are anyways. And their friends are just
Right.
blowing their shit up like, "Oh my God, that's fucking amazing." And I'm like,
Oh
And then that's all they get into. The ego inflates and everything else, and then they just keep making garbage, or they just stick on like to one thing and not really learning their medium, and then it hurts them in the end. And it's like if you're looking for that, and you're shooting yourself in the foot before you even start making art, if that's what you're looking for.
Oh, big time. I see it so much, with these hype kids, their work. I'm not going to say anything bad or good about it, but and they're just getting all this hype and all this attention, and they turn into, I mean, in my opinion, they turn into such assholes, and they're real smug and stuff. And I don't know. That's just so terrible. I don't like that. The whole ego thing, before it's time. I don't think that there's even a reason for ego yet on some of these guys. And it's whatever. I guess some people are just wired different,
Yeah, exactly.
Can't change them.
Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's also like the newer generation. Like I hate the whole millennial talk, but there still is like this new generation of kids out there that have been handheld and gotten trophies for 5th place and everything else in the process. That something like
right.
I don't know how they're going to survive in this industry if they can't get over their shit breaking, kind of thing. Like how's that going to happen?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the biggest lesson to learn in the process. Like I guess so with your work, for instance, like do you keep track of like your success and fail rate when it comes to working on stuff?
Wait, what was that question one more time?
Like it's okay. Like with your say your dragons, for instance, I mean, obviously you have these things down. You're trying different. Like I'm going through your shit right now. Like I mean, I can't. I gotta turn this off, or I'm gonna get keep getting distracted. So. But like the idea, you have your dragons, you have a specific look to them, but you've also evolved them. You change the faces, you change the heads, the poses, and whatever. When you're going through that process of change or trying to make them different, do you find you have like this slight failure rate, things cracking or color not working properly?
Oh, big time, man! I have so much work that's just unseen or unfinished, embarrassing to me,
Mm-hmm.
And even a lot of my work that people do like. I don't like. Sometimes my friends will be like, "Post that, put that out on Instagram." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" And they're like, "Yeah, do it." And it ends up like selling or something. So, yeah, I'm really like self-conscious of new designs, So, it's like you kind of put that out there and you hope nobody makes fun of it or I like your old ones better. I'm really critical on myself, and then when something doesn't go right, then you just kind of get. I guess I'm real sensitive, So new designs are kind of hard for me. A lot of them end up collecting dust underneath a bunch of junk in my shop.
Do you ever do like new designs and just clear first, like as a glass sketch to kind of figure out the process before you go full balls to the walls?
No, because color to me is something that, I've never been afraid to spend money on color. So if I'm going to do something, I want to do it in color. I've never actually made a clear dragon or a clear anything sculpted in my whole life.
Huh. Do you find that's because you know your medium now more so, like because say like when you first started doing this shit, I mean. I wouldn't think that you'd want to just jump into everything full color, or did you?
Now, when I was working at the shop, the reason why I would get in trouble is because I wasn't buying any of the color, the gas, or anything. So I would kind of just use everything,
right.
So I guess there was never really a cap on any or limits on any color that I'd use. But I do feel more comfortable now to use like the hypest color, on the first time project, rather than just let's use something a little less expensive and figure this out first.
Right.
Which I probably should do, but I don't.
Yeah, man, it's all good. Do you find like myself, for instance, all these years of doing this, as the new colors come out, do you find like you got to kind of relearn how to use that particular color because it reduces weird or you get these oxidase flame fucks it up, or kiln cycles fuck it up?
Totally, man. There's so much new color out there and new color companies, and you just gotta find what works best for your palette. And my palette right now is pretty limited. I've let a lot of stuff in, and I've kicked it out quick, you know. So a lot of the new color companies, I mean, the stuff is, they have good intentions. They just got to get it dialed first, because it'll break your heart, you know.
Yeah, dude. I just finished up this Michelangelo, and it is full of checks. Like, I pulled it out of the kiln yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker!"
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like one of those things where I don't have a whole lot of free time for my own personal work, so like I literally will take 3 months to make something. It might go through maybe only 3 or 4 kiln cycles, but it takes over a period of time to get it done. And then when I do it, it's like, man, should I just, it's like I got to take like a week off and just spend one day on this thing and the next day on this thing and not have them go through these kiln cycles, or you know what I mean? Like it's
some
hard.
color doesn't like to be heated up over and over and over again.
Yeah, and this was all forest green, and it was mixed with clear Simex. Like I got a nice, like, it wasn't transparent, but it was a nice, like, I thinned the green out a little bit, because I know like the old forest green, it's a pretty green, but it's like it can be a kick in the balls sometimes. And you know,
green could go south real quick for sure.
Yeah, dude, I thought it was good to go, and then I pulled it out yesterday, and I was like, oh man, fuck.
Checked. Yeah.
It sucks. So gotta start over.
Yep, start over. Put it in the garden.
That's exactly.
Broken ones.
Yeah, and I've always wanted to make them for myself, so it's nice now I have one. I'm not going to use it. I'll just finish it up and just put it on the shelf for myself to look at as a reference.
Nice.
Or something.
Nice.
You know. So what are your go-to colors right now? I know it's a question I asked later on, but I'm kind of curious right now, like what you're going to right now.
Man, I really like that Glass Alchemy serum. That stuff is just butter, you know.
Yeah, it's neat.
And it's so fun. Like Caleb, Darby's oldest, I gave him a couple sticks, and he made his own colors. Like, he mixed in blues and greens and stuff. So he got like these purple to green fades from the CFL to the sunlight. And man, it just opens the door for all kinds of different mixing, and it's a great color. You know, that's my number one right now. And then you know, Abe's Serendipity that stuff's awesome, man. You know, Serendipity. And then Troutman, he makes green Stardust and blue Stardust, which are bulletproof. I mean,
I love those.
Man, have you seen the new green Stardust tubing?
No.
Phenomenal. Oh man, it's like he's gotten all the air out of it, and it's like the perfect emerald. You know, it's just beautiful.
I'll have to look into that. Yeah, because I'm trying to find a new green to go to make this turtle with, and it's like I might go with more of a transparent green. Yeah,
if you go with transparent, man, go with that. Or Haterade if you can get it. You know, that stuff's awesome too.
Yeah, I'm glad they finally got that formula figured out, because that was one of those colors I used to use like for small batch stuff, and then it went away for a while. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, that stuff. Anything from Glass Alchemy is really hard to get. I'm always checking their website. I'm still looking for rosé. If that stuff comes down the line, I want some.
Yeah, no shit. I know, dude. I hate to say it, but I just go to the Chinese pink.
Oh, right.
You know,
for sure.
You know, it's like the same shit, more or less, minus the small air bubbles that you get in the rosé.
Yeah, I noticed there was a piece on your Instagram that you were taking around the inside your studio at Disney World, and it was like going from pink to clear to what was that, Chinese?
Yeah, it's the Chinese purple.
Oh my God, is that? So maybe is that what Glass Alchemy is doing? Just mixing a bunch of Chinese stuff?
Dude, I honestly thought that same shit. I don't know, honestly.
Oh man.
Yeah, because like when I've been using that Chinese purple stuff, for 10 years plus now, and you know, it was like everybody was using, you know, Purple Rain and shit. I'm like, fuck Purple Rain, I'm gonna still use this Chinese purple. It's a really sensitive color. Like it's checky as shit sometimes. Like, you know, it can suck at times, but when it works wonderfully. It's a really nice color. I think like the large, because I like the Chinese colors myself because of the access to larger diameter rods you can get.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, I love that for good sculptural work.
Yeah, totally. And with Disney, like a lot of our base color is Chinese color, and then we'll like roll it in some North Star powder or Fritz or whatever. But yeah, I made that figment because like I have a presentation I'm doing for my company, and I'm trying to. The presentation is kind of like this evolution of where our company I find needs to start the direction to move into, with access to new color and stuff. And I wanted to show them that this purple they've been using for however long they've had this stuff they've been using it for is the CFL color, and not a lot of people know about it. And I didn't even know myself until I went down to our basement to go get some out of stock, and I'm looking for this purple. I'm like, where the fuck is it at? And I was looking right at it, and it was like, this transparent light blue color. And yeah, I was pretty blown away, dude. I started walking up the stairs, and I was like, oh, look at that purple come back, and I got the better lighting.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I was stoked. And being Figment's a cool, imagination character, I was like, this is a perfect thing for him. So I did a video, to show the company, like, hey, this is, I did like a did you know kind of thing for him to see it, and it works out perfectly. I've been doing flowers with it now. The flowers look cool. They change colors and shit. Like, it's just a cool,
sweet,
kind of a cool gimmicky kind of thing. But again, people don't know that, and it's like it's kind of one of our trade secrets. That the original CFL color is Chinese purple.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's super awesome.
Yeah.
So do they give you like free reign of any colors? Like, can you order Glass Alchemy colors through Disney and use their stuff, or do they just say, hey, this is what we get you, and you use this?
Yeah, dude. Whatever I need, I can get from any company.
Nice. Man.
Like when it comes to making Disney characters, because Disney has their specific colors we have to use for the character work. So, like for instance, when I was making my Olaf, they approved them with from what I understood, it was the fastest approved character piece that they've passed through in a long time, years.
Nice.
Like it's usually like a 2 to 3 month process, and this was like I think it was 2 weeks. The turnaround on it was. But,
oh wow!
But the only thing I was pumped. But the only thing I had to change was, I'm sorry, what was that?
I said it's such a great design. I mean, it's perfect.
Thanks, dude.
They're so perfect.
Thank you. But the orange carrot color was off, so I had to like go through all the oranges, and I ended up using I think it was sunset orange, or sunset. I think it's a Paramore color, but
okay.
That was the original go-to. But now I'm using Rasta Gold.
Nice.
For his nose.
Cool, man. Cool.
It's very similar, yeah. But yeah, otherwise it's like we all have our lines that we do. So based on what we're doing, whether it's Sea Life or what have you, we can get we get pomegranate fats directly from North Star for making flowers and stuff. Yeah, it's killer, bro. I get like 16 ml pomegranate fats from them.
Oh, sweet, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a great color, too.
Oh, dude.
I love pomegranate.
Oh, man. It's such a nice red. Like, I'm all about the Elvises and stuff, but the pomegranate, it doesn't reduce it. You don't get any. It's like, it's a beautiful ruby. It's fucking perfect. You can thin it out a little bit. I mean, it's so nice.
Yeah, I coated over yellow crayon. Man, talk about fire, man.
Interesting. I'll have to try that.
Try that out, man. That'll blow your mind.
Does the yellow come through like in the edges and stuff if you were to like flatten it out or pull horns out?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It gets that, like when you first heat up a rod of acid yellow or any yellow cadmium crayon, how it gets that hot kind of faded look, and you're like, wow, I wish it'd stay like that. It looks like that. It looks like fire.
Sexy.
Yeah, try it. Yeah, definitely. It's awesome, man.
I'm writing that down. Even though I listen to these shows, I'm writing that down.
For sure, man. That's definitely one to write down.
Hell yeah. And it's just over. Do you use any other kind of yellows besides yellow crayon, or is that just like your go-to?
Yeah, I mean, you could use Rasta Gold and put pomegranate over it, but yeah, like acid yellow or yellow crayon or anything in that, like a true yellow cadmium. Yeah. That's gonna shine through. That's what I go for. Yeah.
Nice. If we can get it.
Yeah, if you can get it. But, everyone's still got that stuff. I know people that have stockpiles. It's out there, and it's coming back. I hear they're getting their filtering all right and up to code, so they're going to start making CADs again.
Yeah. Actually, I want to bring Abe on the show to talk about it, see what the changes they've gone through, because I think like he was really more vocal and like the idea that they're actually concerned about this affecting our industry and the environment. And
Oh yeah. Abe was the front runner in the whole stopping production on that, and getting his filtering and everything in his shop up to par. He was the front runner for sure. Yep.
Hell yeah,
Abe's a game changer for sure. Abe's the man.
Yeah, especially when he put out Lucy at the price they put it out at. I was like, high fives, dude. Like I was so excited that they're all about fuck the hype.
Yeah, fuck the hype. I mean, his shit's hype, but it's like it's more obtainable hype than some others, you know. Some shit I heard about color that's $500 a pound. And I got to use some. It's called White Samurai. I mean, the shit is dope, but $500 a pound. Damn.
Jesus.
You know, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who's gonna afford that?
Who the fuck's making that?
Yeah, I don't even know the name. I just, one of our buddies, Stony Steve, came through the shop and had all this UV color, and he had pounds of that stuff, and it was $500 a pound. He gave me a few sticks, and I made some stuff out of it, and it's just super smooth. I mean, it's the best white that I've ever used, and well, besides White Dwarf, but it's in that same category of, like, it just works so good, and then when you put a black light over it, it turns pink, like the pinkest pink ever, more than loose. You know, it's just awesome. It's great stuff.
I heard the
Samurai white.
Samurai. I heard the White Dwarf under your breath.
Oh man,
Dude.
that stuff's awesome.
Oh man, I missed the original White Dwarf that from back, like the old square press sticks from back.
Oh
in
yeah,
the day.
the tiny little squares. Yeah. That and Green Dwarf. Man, can't forget about that shit.
Yep.
Yeah. I actually got gifted one stick of Green Dwarf like a couple of years ago from Randall Grubb. He's a ex-glass blower. He started to lose his sight, and now he just builds cars. He built a car for Jay Leno, and he does all these crazy aluminum, just these crazy street rods that are all made out of aluminum. But yeah, that dude used to kill it with the marble game, and he gave me a stick of that Green Dwarf, man, and I still every once in a while take a little bit off to do something with, you know. I still have about a half a stick.
Hell yeah, that's not much then.
Oh yeah, dude, it's precious, man.
It is. Yeah.
So precious.
Yeah, it's like the old Draconis colors, you know. I've got a couple sticks of that shit laying around still that I don't know. I'm going to use it one day for something, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that and the old school OG Moss and like just stuff.
Oh, that stuff's amazing. I got some OG Moss with Illuminati tubing over it, and I'm still like, I'm not worthy of this stuff. I got to wait till I'm better to use this. You know?
Whatever, dude.
So
fucking
awesome.
Use it now. What are you talking about?
I should, but if I wait another year, it'll be that much doper.
There you
know?
go. Yeah. Hell yeah. More valuable.
Totally.
So besides your pipes, like, do you do other size, like art-wise, glass-wise, in your glass? And
Yeah, I make pendants. I'll make the shit out of pendants for sure. And then, like, if anyone has a request, like one of my local friends, like trophies. I made a cannabis cup trophy last year. Yeah, so whatever comes my way, but pipes is my main focus. It always has been.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't start off doing nothing but pipes. So
Hell yeah.
That's where my heart is.
Yeah, same here, dude. Like as much as I love sculpture and I just love, you know, this the pipes. The pipes taught me the way.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. There's so much creativeness that you can do while having that function.
Yeah, on top of the technical side, it's so difficult to work with hollow tubing.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I hear that from a lot of people that just do sculptural work. You know, how do you do the hollow stuff? It's like, oh, how do you do the solid stuff? You know, because that's all I've known is hollow work. You know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I was born into it, I guess you'd say.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it makes total sense. Absolutely. So, you mind talking a little business stuff?
Yeah, not at all.
Cool. Yeah, because I'm just kind of curious, like, when you started doing your higher end production line, for instance, like your dragons, and when you got your bunny made and stuff, like, what was it? I guess was there like a catalyst that helped you set your pricing on your pieces? Like, was there like an initial custom order for somebody, or was it just like, do you have like an idea of like what you charge per hour for your work or whatever?
I don't. I charge by the piece, and the thing is that it is production, but they're all different. They're all different sizes. They all have different. I've never made two that are exactly alike,
right.
You know. But my mom always told me never underprice your work because no one's going to respect you. And so that's always been ringing in my ear, you know. And when I first started blowing glass. Well, let's see. Okay, so I took a 2-year break after my son Phoenix was born, and then when I came back into the scene, which was about 2011, I didn't need money. You know, I was financially stable, so I didn't need to sell my glass like, oh, I got to sell this. I wasn't a starving artist, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to sit on stuff and get the prices that I wanted. So I kind of set the price, and you know, it hasn't really went up or anything. It's just kind of been the same. Base price for a dragon is about $3,000 retail.
Hell yeah. Yeah, nice. Do you have an idea of like the cost of materials that go into those things?
That's kind of like gas and everything. Maybe about $200, depending on height color if it's used, you know. But about roughly two to $250.
Nice. Are you doing like tube pulls with that stuff, like furnace pulls? Or are you doing like what's your process for the actual color application?
I'll buy tubing when I can. I've had friends make custom furnace dip tubing for me. Gabriel Holiday is one of them. He took my my combo that I told you, the acid yellow and the pomegranate,
mm-hmm.
and he actually did a 75-pound tube furnace tube pull for me. And I still have a bunch of that, and he did that a couple of years ago for me.
Fuck yeah!
So I just get tubing where I can, you know, when I can.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, you just coil pot it or vac stack or something.
Yeah, I'll coil pot it or stuff and puff. I haven't done a vac stack in about 3 years.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, you get those lines in it, and
yeah.
Just
do you coil pot like straight on a tube, like over a tube, like a rod encasement kind of deal, or are you just coil potting a solid color?
I'll take a stick, a blow tube, a 12 mil, and flare it out, kind of the size of a quarter maybe,
mm-hmm.
and then just start. First, I'll take all my rod that I'm going to use, and I'll pull off the ends. I pull off about a 1/4 inch of the cut end,
yep.
Because that 1/4 inch, if any glass blowers are listening, just say goodbye to that right off the bat. It's garbage,
yep.
You know, on anything, even serum. And so once you get those off and you get those to a nice point, all the rods, then you just start, you know, coil potting it. And then once you get to the end or where you're starting to burn your fingers, take that other polished end with that 1/4 inch 1/4 inch cut off and start again. Because if you use raw rod or the raw cut end, you're going to see that in your piece.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, all those little micro cuts and abrasions dirt, garbage crap going on. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, definitely. All that crud will show up.
You ever coil pot it over a tube at all, or do you mostly just do solid color?
Yeah, I've never. Banjo showed me this technique. He'll take like Amazon Night, which is a real dense, striking color, and he'll take like 50 by 5 tubing and stripe it on, going vertically as fast as he can. So it's a transparent green.
Mm-hmm.
And then once that whole tube is coated, he does about a 5-inch section of tube. Then he'll take a rod of 8 mil clear, and he'll start horizontally from the end of the tube and smear those straight lines. So it's kind of creates like a weird kind of stained glass look effect to it. And he'll smear it all the way to the end horizontally. And then he takes 10 mil and he'll super coat the whole thing again vertically. And so he has this, from a dense color of like Amazon Night, he'll have this nice transparent green that has all these marbled lines in it. And I was doing that for a long time. That's like magic, man. And it's so affordable. Like, you can use a half a stick of Amazon Night, which is, I don't even know, probably 75 cents or maybe a little bit more. And you can make huge pieces out of this awesome transparent green for very little money.
Yeah, that's a fun idea, because I apply color and clear myself the same exact way, but I've never thought about the going over with a third layer of clear just to thicken it up a little bit more.
Right. Yeah. And dull it out and make it more transparent, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I know back in the
Yeah.
day, like when Chris would go by LA Glass, you know, back in the old glass
Oh,
pipe
right.
store
Yeah.
day, you know.
Carlson. Yeah.
Yeah, he his thing was, you know, was really thinning out his colors and doing like do a stick stack back then before we knew what vac stacks were, and then would pull out a
Right.
tube and then sleeve that again and then pull it out and then sleeve that again and pull it out. So it was like these cool rasta patterns that were transparent lines, and he'd wiggle wag them up and, you know, build his sections out. And I used to love that shit because I like color, but I like color minimized. Like I like color accents more than anything. But like with
Right.
your work's solid color, but I love this. I don't know. They have this just, I don't know, just the clarity and the way the glass refracts. Your color work is just really well done. I've always liked
Right.
the
Right.
transparency because you have like a transparent colored body, so I appreciate that. But he really influenced me back then about doing like really just like sleeving and clear and, you know, whatever. Learning from old school techniques, like the way we only knew how to do things back then. And I still do that shit today, and I still love how
Nice.
it looks, you know. But now you're saying about
Oh, it
this,
looks awesome.
the other transparent kind of concept like Banjo's doing. I gotta try that. That sounds like fun.
Oh, man. You know, are you familiar with the color Raindrop that's super hyped out?
Oh yeah, I've been using that lately. Yeah.
So he knows how to do it, and he taught me how to do that color in 2007, man. Like, you just before it was even Raindrop, you take teal, and teal looks black. If you take a rod of teal from Glass Alchemy, which is now discontinued, but if you take a rod of teal, it looks black, and then you hold it up to the light and get this weird green-blue transparency to it. Well, if you take that color and vertically stripe it on a piece of 50 by 5 tubing, and if you go all the way around super fast, and then instead of marbleizing it with the horizontal kind of drag technique, just coat that with 10 mil, you will get perfect Raindrop for very cheap. You know, you can get a pound of Raindrop tubing for a half stick of teal.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it works better, you know. I think it works better because it's trapped in clear, so it doesn't get that weird brown haze that Raindrop could get.
Right. Yeah, I know what you mean. You know, and I think that's kind of funny you're saying that because like I like the way the evolution of the industry is going with color mixing and how people are sharing the ideas. Because for the longest time, I was always like, you can't mix fucking glass color. It's not like paint. I mean, what the fuck? It's gonna turn. Because like in the soft glass world, you really can't. You get gray or, you know, it looks like shit when it's all
Right.
done. But for some reason with Boro, you can. And I remember seeing Lauren Stump was posting some stuff about making skin tones and like actually having a formula specific weighing out your colors ahead of time so you knew what your mix was going to be like. And I was just like, you know, I was like, oh, that's a whole new fucking concept for like really getting consistency. Because like Salt now with his skin tones that he's doing, like,
Right.
I wouldn't even want to hold some of that shit. It looks like it's gonna like just it's gross looking, you know, like just,
Totally.
it's crazy to you know. But he's got that down. He has that formula down for his colors. And now that I'm seeing that a lot
yeah.
more, dude, like I've been making lemon drop for fucking years before lemon drop
nice.
existed. You know what I mean?
Right. Just watering down a stick of cad yellow. Huh?
Yeah, like some acid yellow and then a shit ton of clear. Yeah, it looks fucking baller.
Yeah, and that's all it is, you know. It's just mixing all that shit.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, you could take orange and take like a couple sticks of orange and put a bunch of clear in a pot and mix it up really thoroughly and pull out tangy.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's like it's a trip.
Yep.
And
Yeah, man. Like I was talking about class-wise, the first class I took right before the Joe P class was Steve Sizelev and Coil, and Steve was showing us he did a color mix where he was showing us how they basically him and Coil did this banana woman, like it was an amazing piece. I'll send you.
yeah.
I'm sure.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was fucking crazy, dude. But
Yeah.
to do the banana, like Quill had Kohlberger was there, and she was doing some prep for him, doing just some quill pot and some yellow. But Steve's like, just check this shit out. So he took like a piece of 44 or something like that, and got like 4 or 5 rods of yellow, cut them into little nibs, shoved them inside of the fucking tubing, shrunk the whole thing down so it was solid. And then he was telling us a class he took with Lucho Babacho, and was telling him how when you're doing color mixes, you got to mix the shit out of it, and then you stretch it out to down almost to a stringer. And then you bring it all back to a gather, you mix it again, and if you do that 3 times, on that third pull, you'll see your color pulls consistently. There's no mixing; it's all nice, you know, consistent color-wise.
Ah.
And after that third pull is when you get that nice, consistent color. And
Nice.
ever since then, dude, I've been doing that now with all my shit, even with color, just mixing some clear into it, just to make the color go a little further, or to make it more compatible with whatever I'm using, because not every color works with each other. And
Right.
you
I'm
have
gonna have
enough
to try
clear.
that.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And I've been using my cordless drill now a lot more because it definitely saves my hand.
Nice.
From the mix. Yeah, dude, it's huge. It shit was wearing, like, I was getting like really bad tendonitis in my hand from doing too much mix and color.
Oh man, yeah, I can imagine. I get that too. That sucks.
Yeah, it's no fun. Yeah, so definitely, yeah, give it a try, dude. Because like he was showing, just like I said, just shoving it into a piece of tubing. Because then you automatically, with the cadmium colors, you automatically are protecting it with that clear on the outside, compared to like just encasing it with some clear. You may still get some bubbling going on.
Right. Yeah, and then pull it out 3 times into a stringer, or 2 times, shrink it back down, and then the third time it'll be ready to use.
Yeah, it should be
nice.
good to go. Yeah. Because then he made that big mass, and then they blew it into a ball. They did like the quote unquote tubulation, and made it into a tube.
Oh, nice.
And then they went from there with it, made it the banana shape, and it was a really well taught class, especially when it comes into collaboration with 2 artists that have their own style, and watch these 2 cats work so well together. And it was our first time ever teaching a class, much less work together like that.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, dude, Steve's like, they started the class off asking us, what the fuck do you guys want to learn? And I wasn't there for that part. I missed my turn on the wrong exit, so I was like a half an hour late. But the number one thing was Steve's bubble trap tech, and that was the first thing he showed us. And
nice.
Yeah, dude, that paid for my entire class. I mean, in all reality, the rest of the class was free.
Nice.
Seeing him do that technique, it was like, it made so much sense. I'm not going to say it was easy, because it's not. I've tried it several times, and I still don't have it down. But
right, I bet, man.
Yeah.
Years of practice.
Yeah, and it's cool to see these old cats, like, I'm not saying Steve's old, but these guys that have been around the industry for so long, and that have evolved from fine art to the pipe industry, that learned from other guys that are masters, like the Lucio Babacos and the Shazars and the fucking whoever out there. It's cool to see those techniques now coming into our industry where we are now. I mean, shit, like I said, like your work, bro, like your stuff's so fucking clean.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
It's killer.
Yeah, just it takes years and years, just doing it. 10,000 hours at least.
Yeah, at least. So in terms of the selling your glass, like besides your social media feeds, do you have a distributor you sell through? Do you go to trade shows? How do you go about all that stuff?
Yeah, I do. I have a good friend, Phil, who runs Joint Forces.
Oh yeah.
And in Asheville, North Carolina, and I send him stuff, and he sends me money. It's awesome. And he sells directly to shops all over the country, and that's been really good. And then I also, if somebody sees something they like and I still have it, I'll sell that to them, or I deal with shops, so I just every way I can,
Yeah. Do you rely on Joint Forces for the trade show side of things?
No, sometimes I'll go to the trade shows. Like I go to Age in January, and I'll do my own stuff there. And it's pretty cool because we don't compete with each other. Our prices are the same, so I'm not competing with my own stuff through them. It's awesome.
Yeah. I saw they're one of my 2 distributors is Joint Forces.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, for
nice.
sure. Yeah, they're good people, dude. It was fun when I first got hooked up with those guys. I'm talking to Phil, and he's, we're talking about pricing out my work and everything else, and he's like, well, if you think about how long you've been doing this floor, and if you take like an electrician, for instance, who's been doing this for just as long as you have been, and what they're making, that my pricing is in that range, and it was cool that he's thinking of pricing your work in the sense of having a trade, which is what we have.
Right.
We're a trade. No matter how good you are, you're still a fucking trade. But if you're you've been doing this for 30 years, obviously you're gonna be getting more money for your work, as long as your quality's there, obviously.
Right, exactly.
I think it's important.
Oh yeah, the work's got to back up the price, and it seems like it's such a weird thing nowadays. There's a lot of work out there that's expensive, and I guess the work's just not there for me. I'm like, wow, how are they getting thousands of dollars for this mini tube with sloppy terminations on the wigwags. You know, it's weird. It's a weird hype thing that's going on, but
Yeah.
you know, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, you know, I agree, bro. It's like I try to stay away from getting on social media too much. I mean, fuck, bro. Now that Instagram has their Insta Live that's going on, I did some video with stuff on there today. I was like, I might as well, you know,
Right?
Because
I haven't even seen that yet. That lets me know how much out of the loop I'm at. When did that come about?
I guess last night while I was sleeping. Because I woke up this morning and then the top of my Instagram would look different, and the top of your feed has all these little everybody's logos, their profile picture thing up there, and that's their live new live feed, and it's if I recommend I mean obviously listening to the show will probably be in a week from now, but if you go on there today, dude, if you follow any like celebrities or whatever out there, it's fucking hilarious because everybody's like, what's this new Insta Live thing? It's everybody's kind of like coming into it now on their first day of posting stuff, and it's just like Snapchat. It's only available for 24 hours. So
cool.
Yeah,
nice.
It's interesting. I don't know, man. It's like it's just one more thing to be distracted by, but I think it's a good tool.
Oh yeah,
a good tool.
Definitely. Yeah, I get so distracted with social media. Oh man. It's a nightmare.
Yeah. I just got sidetracked by it. But like, my whole point was going on social media is like, I'll sometimes go through auctions and I'll look at these guys working and they have amazing work, but I'm seeing guys that are making like, you know, copied versions of their rigs as little carb caps that they're doing an auction for, and it's at like $3,000.
Right.
And I'm like, I would love to make something like that right now and have $3,000 waiting to be paid to me for something like that. Like, what the fuck? And
totally.
I can't do that. It gets me fucking. It's like it almost makes me down on myself. Like, why can't I do that shit? Why can't I hype myself up? But at the same time, is I don't want to. I mean, I hate to say it. It's not that I don't want the money. I just don't. I don't know. It's just. It seems like that kind of shit is kind of hit and miss, and it's also like kind of a fad. Like, I wonder if these guys that are making that kind of money for that stuff, like where they'll be in a year from now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that hype is something totally different than buzz. A buzz is kind of organic, and hype is created, I think, and it doesn't last. You know, it's not going to last for a lot of these guys, especially ones that their work is not there. You know, the workmanship's just lacking. But yeah, I wish them all luck, I guess.
Yeah, totally. I mean, shit, people are still making Q-tip jars. You know.
Totally, I saw that. Someone just wrote like, if anyone needs a heady Q-tip, I'm like, oh man, are we still doing that?
I just think it's funny that some of these companies are selling boxes of Q-tips on their fucking websites, like Q-tip brand Q-tips, and they're like tripling the price of what you go down the street at the dollar store and buy them for.
Oh, totally.
You know,
totally. I see it all the time.
It's just fucking stupid, but whatever, dude. People are paying for the money, so it is what it is. People are still going to McDonald's, you know, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Smoking cigarettes and everything else, so.
Oh, yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, I know. I still think that shit. Like, damn, it's 2016. People are still smoking cigarettes.
Dude, I know. It's crazy. My old lady smokes, and I'm, like, trying everything to get her to stop, and she's like, I'll stop when I'm ready. I'm like, well, can you be ready? Please?
It's so true, though, dude. That's how. I mean, it's like anything in life. You will not do it unless you fucking want to.
Right. Yep.
You know?
For sure. But yeah, you lead a healthy lifestyle, right? You're always doing physical things and jogging and hiking and all that stuff.
Yeah, as much as I can, dude. Yeah, hell yeah. You know,
nice.
It's so hard. I find like if I don't, because I deal with ADD and shit, so like
right.
I have to be able to get shit done in a sense, to be able to have my focus and stuff. And like the times I find that I don't is when I don't get enough sleep and I'm not exercising. Is when I'm like all over the fucking place. I don't get shit done. I don't have packages shipped on time. Glass gets broken. I mean, just, you know, I get the case of the fuck. It's real bad. But I didn't really start paying attention to that really until this year. Like I have kind of, and I've always been healthy, but like really focusing on like my mental space with fitness. I'm part of this group called Zen Dude Fitness, and this Brandon Epstein started this podcast called the Entrepreneur Fitness Podcast like about 3 years ago. And the whole philosophy of the podcast was that if you're physically fit, usually you're mentally fit, which means that your business is going to be fit also. And his whole show was all, it was a kind of a, I'm not going to say woo-woo, but it was kind of a, Zen Buddhist kind of meditation philosophy, type of idea. And it just made so much sense. And then just over the yeah, totally, dude. And this last year, he partnered with this guy, Dan Whitmer, and Dan Whitmer had a fitness program called Base Jump, and it was a jump rope fitness, only just jump roping fitness class. And Dan lost, they're both of their background stories is they were both super fit, exercising all the time, but they were like in this wrong mentality where they had to eat every 3 hours. They were like just bulked up and fat almost, not even strong. And then they changed, and they changed their whole philosophy, bro. And these guys are fucking shredded. Like they really don't go to the gym much. It's all just jump rope based body weight exercises. And so I started doing this program, and having the accountability with the group that I'm in makes a big difference. But it all started with just my head, just getting my head together. Like I had to fucking just start somewhere, and that's where I started, which then has led to me losing 35 pounds since the end of February.
Oh, cool, man. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, dude. It's huge. Like, I'm wearing a size 30 waist right now, which I haven't worn since like 8th grade. So,
nice, man.
My wife's like, you got to stop losing weight. I can't keep buying you clothes all the fucking time.
For sure. That's cool, man. That's cool. Good for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. I started eating a lot better about March of last year. And man, I probably dropped about 20 pounds, and it's awesome. My mind is a lot clearer, and, I don't do any processed foods, any dairy. I'm pretty much on the paleo diet. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. I do every once in a while have dairy, but it's pretty rare.
Nice. Yeah. So it's definitely helped a lot, and it's helped my mind too. When you eat all that crap, it's just it becomes a part of you.
Yeah, dude.
No bueno.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's amazing. Like, it's so easy with what we do to just get into a shitty rut routine where you're drinking all fucking day, you're smoking all your pot. I mean, everything else. The next thing you know, you're 40 pounds overweight. You have high blood pressure. Your glass looks like shit. Everything else. You haven't showered in 4 days. You know what I mean? Like, it all just starts to go downhill.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I look at Carl Termini. He's in incredible shape. He's vegan, and he's been going to the gym.
Nice.
I think he said like almost. I want to say it was like a year and a half now. He's been almost every fucking day. He's been going to the gym.
Wow, man.
Yeah, it's fun to see guys in our and gals too in our industry that are all about being fit and healthy.
Right, body conscious, yeah, sure.
Dude, because I don't want to necessarily be like supermodel glassblower guy, but
totally.
It'd be nice to walk into a room and be like, oh, look, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you feel good.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I live by the beach, so I feel like I need to be in that kind of headspace, but
Oh yeah.
If I lived in the mountains, I'd probably be, in my overalls and fat and have a big beard.
Probably not. I live in the mountains, and I wear a size 31. So
cool.
And I'm 38. So.
Yeah, dude. Tell me about it. It feels good, right?
Oh man, it feels awesome. And it's just I'm trying to get everyone else to do the same thing around me. I'm like, everybody should try this, and the wife's like, I don't know, I like soda,
right. But get her to start drinking the fucking flavored soda water. My wife drinks it right now. Like that's it's like if she wants a glass of wine, she'll put some of that stuff in a wine glass just to help her with not having a glass of wine.
Nice.
So yeah, that's been my go-to now too, because like I have a bad, besides sweet tooth, I was addicted to sugar, and once I cut sugar out of my diet, I mean literally I lost 15 pounds right away. No sugar in my diet, kind of stuff. And I still have a sweet tooth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm digging into my nut butter or some shit at 2 in the morning.
Things are off. For sure.
I can't have it in the house, dude. It's terrible. Like if I have we just got these amazing fucking healthy protein granola bars. It's like pretzels and chocolate and protein and shit. And even today, I'm like dipping it in my nut butter jar.
Nice.
You know, it's so good, but fuck. But I know now too. I keep track of all my shit. I have this MyFitnessPal app that I use, so I'm like, if I eat this, that means I can't eat this later on tonight. So it's like,
Right. Yeah, that's important. That's definitely important. You can cheat a little bit. That's what I found in this diet. When I first went paleo, I was super strict on myself for about a year, and then I talked to a trainer, and he said, no, you have to cheat a little bit because your body will just plateau, and it basically it's not good if you don't break out of that diet every once in a while. You got to throw your body a curveball every once in a while. And I was like, okay. So I started doing that, and I started noticing better results, mind and body, and yeah, it's cool.
yeah, it's
and
huge.
You get to reward yourself,
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah, man. I'll send you a. Well, I guess I can't text you. Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't give me your number.
I'll get you that number.
Yeah, I'll get it off
Sure.
the air for sure. Because I'll send you some links. Because the guys at the group that I'm in, they're doing a 14-day free trial kind of thing, like just to go through the process of the group, and yeah, you can fill it out, dude. It's killer. Like we're doing this jump rope program right now. It's the jump rope master fitness program basically, and it's like every month you learn all these new tricks and processes and stuff, and then you do a test at the end of the month, and you get a belt, like a white belt, for instance. And
cool.
yeah, it's really nice. Like each week you take a test. All you're doing is filming yourself doing your jump rope, and then you post it up on our Facebook group, and then they say you passed, whatever. But they have a YouTube channel. It's just a Zen Dude Fitness YouTube channel, and they have all their shits on there, all their content, their videos, their talks. I mean, intermittent fasting is like a big topic that we talk about a lot, where you like basically in a day, a 24-hour window, you have like an 8-hour window that is when you eat in. So if you start eating at noon, your last meal is at 8 o'clock. You get all your shit in that 8-hour period of time. So then you're fasting for 16 hours. And I find like myself now in the mornings, I'll get up, I'll have a cup of coffee, and I won't eat until like 4 or 5 in the afternoon sometimes. And I'm not hungry at all. And if I do get hungry, I'll have either a cup of coffee or a big glass of water and do some push-ups just to get my mind off it. Like at Disney, for instance, when I'm there on my long days, I'll have a protein bar maybe in the morning, but I won't eat until 4:30, and that when I have like my first meal of the day, and by then I'm fucking ready to eat. But throughout the day, dude, like I'm in my full costume, I'm in my bow tie, my vest and shit, and I'll go down to the basement and bang out like 20 push-ups real quick just because I got to get that shit out of my system because I want to eat something.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure, man.
That's
awesome. It must be really nice to work there, man. That sounds like a dream come true.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a job. I'm not going to say it's not like any other job, but it's definitely, I don't look at it that way. Like a lot of people that work there, because I don't actually work for Disney. I work for a third party, the Rebus Brothers. But,
okay.
But I'm still on Disney property and still there. But it's I count my blessings, and I the opportunity. I thank God every day for that. When I go there, I mean, I drive an hour and a half one way to work when I go, so it's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the commute.
I thought I had a long way to go.
Right. Yeah, it's a crazy commute, but yeah, it's a childhood dream come true for me as an artist growing up, being a fan of Disney and drawing my whole life. Like my style is very stylized to Disney and other influences in my life, but like I was talking to some guys at the studio yesterday about it, and it's like I had my style beforehand, and then I got my job at Disney, which really fine-tuned that style because it was kind of influenced already by Disney's work.
Right. Yeah. That's cool. So it's like where you needed to be, man. That's perfect.
Yeah, the cosmos lined up perfectly for me. All the shit that I've been through, it finally panned out to where, this is where I'm supposed to be. And it feels good to be there. Like, to be able to have the opportunity to educate and teach, influence, and Keith, one of our other artists, he went to Japan for 20 years. When he first got hired, it was a 2-year contract, and 20 years later, he's just got back from Japan. And
wow.
Doing glass over there at our park in Japan. Yeah, fucking awesome, right? And he was
nice.
Yeah, dude. And he was just saying, like, he went to, I don't know if it was a gas conference or if it was one of the flame offs he went to years ago. And they were doing a roundtable talk, and they asked the audience, and there's like 400 glass artists in there, and they asked them, like, how many of you were influenced as a kid going to Disney, watching the glass blowers to make you want to blow glass to where you're at now? He said like 85% of the people in the audience raised their hand.
Oh yeah.
Which is killer. It's
yeah. So when I lived in LA, I went to Disneyland in Anaheim, and I remember some old man in New Orleans Square was making or he had a big ass must have been about a foot tall. It was a Tinkerbell, and it was solid clear, and it was just fucking beautiful. And I remember just thinking, like, wow, this guy made this? Like, I didn't even understand, but it was just, I remember the legs were like super thick up top, and then, it's like he must have used like 25 mil rod or something. It was just so smooth and perfect. But yeah, definitely Disney glass artists definitely had influence on me for sure. I can vouch for that.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, man, I'm still blown away to see the work that we used to do, some of our bigger character stuff in clear, like these 5-pound solid Mickeys that we were making, or like the genie or whatever, just and they're on point to what the character looked like, even though they're all in all clear. It's just It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it's insane.
Now I'm trying to push us to do that same kind of shit, but in color.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Bring the color out for sure.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Cool, man. Well, I don't want to keep you going. I think I got shit to do here. So let's take a quick break real quick. We'll thank our sponsors, and then we'll come back, and will be time for us to crash a kiln.
Awesome, man.
All right, cool. This segment of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Zen Dude Fitness. Lose 10 pounds this month by joining the Zen Dude Fitness 4-week jump rope fat loss challenge. Brandon and Dan will take you on a guided journey towards becoming the best you. Get fit, have fun, and find new ways to eat healthy while still enjoying the sweeter side of life. Just takes 20 to 30 minutes a day and no gym required. For more info and to sign up for the free 4-week challenge, go to wiseguymedia.com/ZenDudeFitness. That's wiseguymedia.com/ZenDudeFitness. All right, man, we are back. Quick break. Cool. So, yeah, dude, so the Crash in the Kiln round consists of 7 questions now, and hopefully you went over them when I sent you the email. If not, these will all be new to you.
Yeah, I think they're pretty new to
cool.
me. Yeah.
Fucking awesome. That's always the best.
Okay. Awesome. I'll try to go fast.
Well, I always tell everybody, man, it can give me a 30 to 6-second answer, but if you want to expound upon them as well, it always happens, so don't feel rushed.
Awesome.
So the first question I always like to ask is if there's any living glass artist that you had not yet worked with, who is it and why?
Any living glass artist that I have not worked with. I would say Joe Peters, man. He's just awesome. I mean, he's a great person. He's a top of the field sculptor, and he's just my style of dude, That guy's fucking super cool. I'd love to work with him.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's my guy too.
Nice.
Yeah, fuck yeah. All right, so what are your top 5 favorite colors in glass?
Serum, number 1. Second quality serum. Occasional quality serum. Green Stardust, Blue Stardust, Serendipity, and Alchemy Grape.
Oh, I haven't used that yet. I've heard good things about it.
Oh, it's so awesome.
Hell yeah. Is it a transparent?
It can be. It's really dense, but you can work it down to Purple Rain if you wanted to.
Because I know I want to say maybe I have used it. Does it almost like a striking color, like a purpley strike color?
No, see, that's the thing about it. It doesn't do anything but stay itself when you use it solid.
Okay.
It won't haze or anything. I use it for, I don't know if you've ever seen the new geishas that I've been making.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I want to talk about that after we get off. We talk about it now, actually. So just it's kind of fucked up. I haven't done these yet because you're doing them.
Oh no, that's what so many people have said that to me. I'm like, I didn't, Seth Brayer, who's a really good person, like he was doing these little dolls that everyone was calling geishas, and he's the one that first did geisha in glass, like glass pipe world. Mm-hmm. So I can't take credit for that. And if anyone wants to make geishas, I don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Well, I was gonna wait for yours to kind of settle in until I start mine. I don't want to just like jump on the toes right away. I'm saying that because like 2 months ago I was taking my son to Cub Scouts, and like he said something about, they were talking about Asian culture in his class and the geisha stuff, and he's only in like 4th grade, so that was kind of weird. But anyways, So while I was waiting for him to finish up his thing, I was doing some research, and I was coming across some Geisha girl, just like some sketches and drawings. Well, I came across
Right.
Jag's piece that he made like 10 years ago. I don't know if you've seen that one. He did a Geisha girl, like a realistic looking
nice.
Geisha. She's like all in bamboo sticks and shit. It's a gorgeous piece. If you get a chance to look it up, check it out. But
Yeah.
I was gonna do some Geisha like girls, but have them with owl heads on them, like my wise guy heads, but make them like a really pretty owl face, and do all the makeup and shit on them.
Dude, that'd be cool. That'd be super cool.
Kind of some kind of different spin on there. And then I saw yours come out, and I was like, oh man, these are fucking awesome. I'm gonna wait a little bit.
That's cool, man. Respect.
Shit. So let's see, where are we at here? Okay, color. So if you could describe the sound of glass cracking in one word, what is it?
Tink.
Cool.
Tink.
Hell yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, I hate that sound, man. Usually we have the stereo turned up really loud in the shop, so I don't get to hear it, but I'll notice the crack in the kiln when I pull it out, or I'll notice it next day or something. But when the radio's like off or Spotify's asking if we're still listening, and I hear it, it's just a nightmare. And usually I found the louder the noise, the more minor the crack.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a soft tink, then your whole piece is fucked. If it's a tink, the whole fucking thing is done. That's in my opinion, in my finding.
I completely agree. I find like you're saying, like a lot of times I'll find like the biggest, loudest noise in the kiln is usually like for my, if I'm making a figure, it's usually like where the leg was attached. Like if I'm doing dragons, it's like where my leg was attached to like the hip and it cracked at the hip, some kind of weird thing where I can fix it.
Right.
But those little small ones you hear, like they're hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy. It's like the exact opposite. The loud tink is maybe a bridge or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense because it's reverberating around the whole piece. Like, ting!
Yeah, exactly.
But a small little ting usually is catastrophic for me.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, on that same topic, just kind of a little side thing. I'm getting weird static here. Mm-hmm. When you're working on a piece, like a larger item that you're almost done with, do you preheat your whole piece up before you start doing any details to them, or do you just like jump onto the details?
I just jump on it. Recently I worked with Kai Beck, who's a Millie guy, and he had 2 Bunsen set up at his station, and I wasn't really comfortable with, the Bunsen. So we ended up losing a whole big Millie Dragon just because I didn't really know that technique, and I was kind of thrown into it. But for me, I work the way I work. Sometimes I'll max my propane out on my Samurai and use that as a Bunsen when I need to bring the whole piece up to core heat. But other than that, no, I just let the heat of the kiln kind of heat the whole piece and work part by part.
Cool. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here. Because I remember, like I was saying, like I remember seeing some videos of Nate Dizzle back in the day, like big ass flame, and even Bear Claw too, like just heating their whole fucking thing up, before they go do detail work. And I'm like, oh my god, I would be shitting my pants. Yeah,
I don't know. I never found that I needed to do that. I think even those guys could probably work whatever they're doing without doing that. It's unnecessary in a lot of work. I think people just do it because that's the way they were taught, and it might work for some. And it's weird. It's a weird thing, like if they did start doing it our way, then they'd probably break a bunch of pieces, just because they're not used to it.
Yeah,
I think it's also really key to when you pull a piece out of the kiln. Let's say you're going to attach an arm or a hand or something. When you're doing that, you don't want to flash any other part of the piece but the part that you're working on. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't let that heat get around and flash other parts.
Yeah. Hey man, give me 1 second. I'm having like a really weird
no problem,
static
man.
going on.
I heard a dog barking too.
Yeah.
Mine bark all the time too. I'm like in the backyard.
Yeah. Actually, I was doing one interview recently, and there was a rooster in the background at the neighbor's house that was cock-a-doodle-doodling the entire fucking time. I'm like, dude, you gotta go in the house or something. I can't. I'm getting distracted by this fucking rooster in the background.
Totally.
So funny. Yeah, because I was asking that because like that piece I was talking about earlier with that Coil and Steve were working on, the Banana Lady. They actually had a second kiln that was warmed up, and it was only sitting at like 700 degrees. And because they had the piece out for so long, they just went into that cooler kiln and then slowly warmed it back up again.
Oh. No, see, I've let a piece, I can take a cold piece and put it into a hot kiln at 1050. You don't want to set it down on the kiln brick floor or the kiln floor right away, but you hold it in there suspended for a couple seconds and then set it down, and everything seemed to go fine with that technique. And I was taught that by Banjo. You just put it in the kiln, and it scared the shit out of me the first time.
Yep.
I thought it was just. But if your welds are good and everything's good, you have no 90-degree or right angles, then you're good. And I know Coil. I have some of his work, so I know that his work, his sculptural work, is really is really. There's a lot of right angles on that shit. It's crazy.
Well, it's interesting. Go on.
I was just gonna say that's what makes his work so awesome. It's just, his shit is just so crisp. It's not melted in like the way you would think.
Well, not to give away his secrets here, but one of the things that he taught us when we were with his class is like he does like his say like he's doing his monkey faces, for instance, or whatever, and he's trying to get like a really furrowed brow. He'll actually build the glass up and blend everything in completely smooth, and then goes back in with a knife or his tool and then cuts the lines in, so it looks like it's actually deeper than what it truly is.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that too, but I've seen the way he builds glass around the eyeball millies and it's just sitting, it's laying over the top of it.
Yeah.
Where they marry is not a flush weld. It's just laid over the top.
Right.
I have one of the 2014 Monkey Locks, and the thing's beautiful, but it's different than I would work. So I'd imagine that he can't just put one of those things right into a hot kiln being super cool.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know what you mean too with the eyes that he does. Totally.
Do I have time to get this call waiting real quick?
Yeah.
Edit that
Yeah, help yourself, yeah.
All right. I'll be right back.
Okay. yeah, and the deep cuts and the heat and stuff.
Right. Yeah. His style is definitely, you definitely have to do a different, funkier steps to get hot again for him, I would imagine. He told me him and Rhino came over to Darby's shop a couple of years ago, and he was telling me he uses something like 2 out of every 5 monkey heads or something. I don't know, something crazy. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
That's a lot of heartbreak, man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting to talk to some of these guys, especially the show now, and like hearing like myself, for instance, my longest piece so far to date that I've had fuck up at the end was like 16 hours over a period of over like 2 days I think I spent on it. And then I talk to these guys and like, I spent like 3 months on this thing. I'm like, whoa.
God, yeah. That's insane.
Yeah. A bit, I understand some of these guys are able to, like, financially wise, they can afford to do that. And don't get me wrong, dude, there's a lot of cats in our industry that financially wise, they were good to go before they started this because of what they were doing for business beforehand. So, it helped them out. Myself personally did not. I had to start from, bootstrapping it. But, But yeah, man, I mean, fuck.
3 months.
Yeah, thousands of dollars of material and time and all these other things you think about that you could have made at the
Right. Yeah, it happens, man. I mean, when I lost that dragon with Kai Beck, when we lost that dragon, it was all Millie components, and he had pulled Millie for months leading up to this project, and then prep tubes and everything, and we just we started losing it, and it was like we would fix one thing and then another part of it would break. It was like playing whack-a-mole, We were just over and over, and it just going. And I was like, bro, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. We lost this piece, brother. We got to cut it up and salvage what we can. So we made like pendants out of the claws, and he salvaged the belly and made a pendant. And we sat outside and we talked about it, and it was nobody's fault. It wasn't meant to be, and we're going to do it again. But that was heartbreak, but I've been down that road before, never with another person, just by myself. But I know that you got to just go on, Try not to have any reminders, like sitting around too long. Like if you have the cracked body right on your bench, you're going to see that thing every day.
Yep.
And just relive it. So try to just get rid of that shit and move on, make something better. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly.
Learn from those. And it's all learning experience.
Yep.
When something goes bad.
Yeah, I like the whole idea of failing forward, you learn from your failures and just keep moving forward.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That's
definitely.
Huge. Hell yeah. All right, back on track here. So, see, we got the glass sound. Oh, yeah. So what's your worst injury in the studio?
Oh, man. Okay, dude, check this one out. This one's going to drag on a little bit.
It's
Sorry.
all right. No, go for it.
So I was about 2 years in, maybe a year and a half, working for Gilbert Velasco at Studio G, the G spot. And I was pulling off excess glass with my metal tweezers. And this was before blast shields or anything. I was using a National with a number 5 tip on it. And I was pulling off excess glass with the tweezers. And because the glass was so molten, it stuck the tweezers to themselves, so they were stuck shut. And I set them down on my Hardy Backer board on the top of my bench. And about 10 seconds later, I was working like normal. Those tweezers, the glass cooled just enough to free those tweezers back open quick, and that piece of hot glass went right into my mouth.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it hit me on the lip first, on my left side of my lip, and just out of reaction, I pulled it into my mouth, and it like burned the shit out of everything in there, my tongue, the roof of my mouth. I spit it out, and then I was left with this fucking I still have a scar on my lip from this gnarly burn. The next day, it totally sucked. I had to go to a 3-day festival out in the sun. It was like June, the end of June, super hot. And I had this huge herpy-looking blister on the left side of my face. And I was walking around this festival just miserable, and everyone was just looking at it. It was fucking crazy, man. Yeah, that's the worst fucking one ever, man. I don't know anyone that could top that, It's just fucked up.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, I had Lewis Wilson on a couple weeks back, and he was telling me one with his brother that was working glass in a bathrobe and stuck his left ball basically to the inside of his thigh with a hot piece of glass.
Oh, shit. Okay, maybe that tops it. Oh, man. I would imagine there's probably super bad injuries out there, horror stories, but
yeah,
that one was just fucking crazy for me.
Yeah. There's actually a dude. It's kind of funny. I had Box Fan on a couple months back, and he was telling me one of his burn, whatever, and it reminded me there was years and years ago. There's all these like folklore stories, in whatever industry, but we have ours too. And I had heard this guy was in his studio making this big fucking marble, was barefoot in his shop, and had a stool that he knocked over. And when he stepped back, he stepped on the foot of the stool, and it hit a pressure point in his foot that made him pass out with this hot, massive glass in his hand. And basically woke up, and his hand was like just fucked. And
oh man!
So when Boxan was telling me the story, it reminded me of it, and I brought it up in the interview. And my buddy Jeff Smart, I'm sure you know Jeff Smart. He does a lot of character work.
Yeah, I love his work.
Yeah, it's killer. Well, he sent me a message like, "Hey man, I know that guy. He lives in my town." So I was like, "Oh, this guy actually exists." So I want to get a hold of this dude because to me, that's like, from what I hear, is one of the worst injuries.
Oh yeah.
To have.
Wait a second. I think I saw a picture of that hand on Instagram. Was that recently, like within the last few months ago?
No, it was like probably 10, maybe 10 or 12 years ago.
Oh, okay. I saw a gnarly hand the other day. Somebody posted on Instagram, and it was fucking just totally. I think it had to do with a seizure, though. Somebody had a seizure while they were blowing glass, and
damn.
Fuck yeah, damn. that makes my lip look like nothing.
Right. Yeah,
But
dude.
yeah.
One of our guys at work, Jimmy Dills, he's been with us for 21 years, I think, now with the company. He's a phenomenal sculptor. But you know, I've dozed off a couple times on stage, making right in the middle of a piece, and he did, and put his hand through the flame with people watching him working,
Oh.
and that woke him up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I bet I put my hand through the flame, trying to grab something on the other side of the bench, and then as I was coming back, the center fire, and I got excited or startled, and I hit the fucking middle fire, and blasted my hand the rest of the way. And I remember it felt cold, man. It was like cold as ice. Like when it happened, I was like, it's cold. And I was like, what? And it looked like old man skin for about 2 days, and then it just fucking turned into this gnarly ass blister. And now you can't even see anything. It's weird how the top of the hand heals so well.
Right, I know. I've done that same thing twice, not the exact same way, but twice on my left hand. And now that I'm getting older, I'm finding those areas my skin's darker. Like I have like a permanent tan from the scars. But
right,
you know.
Yeah, it's weird.
But other than that, bro,
always,
yeah, you would never know.
Yeah, the top of the hand is resilient. For sure.
Yeah, so is the mouth, because I've put hot blowpipes in my mouth a couple times, like a jackass at 3 a.m. when I should be in bed instead of blowing glass. The quick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna fire polish this motherfucker real quick, and then you stick it in your mouth. You're like, what's that singeing noise I'm hearing? Oh yeah, that's my lips.
Yeah. For sure, man.
Oh, fucking stupid shit. So.
Yeah, that's all it comes down to is it's our own stupidity.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So, do you have any glass blowing themed tattoos?
I don't, but I have 2 tattoos that have flames on them, so I guess that sort of counts.
Cool. Yeah. That's my new question I have. So far, I've only gotten one person I've asked so far that actually had that, and that was Lewis Wilson out of anybody that I've asked.
Oh, wow. What a trip.
Yeah, totally. He's got a couple little, some kind of sculptural pendant that he makes that he had tattooed on him. Yeah, it's interesting.
Oh, cool.
Hell
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, man, my last question I always like to ask, and it's an interesting one. If you were stranded on an island, it could be whatever kind of island, fantasy island you'd like, that had a glass studio on it and only supplied your gases, your kiln, and your torch, and you had to make something in order to survive, what 5 items would you bring?
Oh, man. Like tools? Is that where you're...
Whatever you need to make whatever it is you need to make to survive.
Oh, let's see.
So,
I'd bring my butter knife, which is like muy importante. That's like my sculpting thing. My pencil reamer, my grabbers, which are Nate Meyer's, the finishing tool. What else? Some kind of reamer with a taper and a bowl push. Bam.
Hell yeah.
I think that's fine.
So, well, obviously you need glass, so you have to figure that out, because all you're supplied with is your gases, your kiln, and your torch. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'd bring some color tubing, and my tools, and let's see, what else would I bring?
There's always one important thing that everybody forgets, unless you listen to the show religiously. Then you hear me talk shit about it all the time. And it's a common thing we all have to do this.
A lighter.
No, you can use flint rocks to start a fire. You need your glasses.
Oh, that's true. I don't know. I'm my mind's drawing a blank. What is it?
Your glasses.
Oh shit, the titaniums. Oh yeah, I forgot about those.
I was thinking about starting, because I'm thinking about maybe including that as one of the things that are available for you, because everybody forgets it, But it's like, I think it's because we're so used to wearing them all the time. Like if I don't have glasses on my face, I just feel naked.
Right, for sure. I've seen people that sculpt clear glass not wear glasses at like county fairs.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I remember asking them, don't you need glasses? And they're like, oh, you don't need it for clear glass. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
How the hell?
Yeah, that's old school, dude. That's how they used to do it, using like the Nationals or some smaller, just lighter flame torch.
Right.
Yeah, it didn't make that big brightness. So with your butter knife, do you have a serrated edge on there, or is it all smooth?
Yeah, it's all smooth. There's still like a little bit of that, but whenever I see that in my work, I I polish it out, and then I take my butter knife to the concrete again and try to get that shit off of there. So I don't want no serrated edge.
Yeah. You ever use a spoon?
No, I don't.
Get a spoon. I'm telling you, dude.
Really?
If you can find a spoon with a round handle on it, yeah, that was like one of my secret tricks that I was taught when I started doing Disney stuff, to get like convex and concave shapes, like with your dragon, like the roof. If you wanted to like have an open mouth for your dragon and do like the roof of the mouth, the convex or whatever, the rounded part of the spoon, just press it up into the top of your roof of your mouth, and it's a symmetrical, even rounded edge shape that you get.
That's cool. I'm going to take a spoon with me to work today, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I love it. And I use my beeswax on them a lot too, so it just kind of keeps them smooth.
Nice. Yeah, I love beeswax, man. That stuff's crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah, dude. So I know you got shit to do, so if you can give us any parting piece of advice that you can give to the industry, and then also where we can find you out there in cyberspace.
Yeah, definitely, man. I would say never shut yourself off from learning. Always stay open to learning new things, because if you know everything already, you can't learn anything new. And then you could find me at Instagram is at MikeLuna300, and email is crazyglassblower300@gmail.com. Facebook is Michael Robert Luna, and yeah, that's how you can find me.
Hell yeah. What's the 300 from?
I used to own a 300ZX, a Nissan, and that was like pre-glass blower, you know, and yeah, I don't know why, it just kind of stuck, you know.
Yeah, hey,
I know IROC, you know, Z, the glass blower girl that makes the crazy funky mouths and vaginas and shit. She's Z because she had a some kind of Z24, IROC Z24 or something. So that's why it's weird.
Hell yeah. I love all those old cars.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, the old Z28s and stuff, man, they were the shit back then.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Super awesome. Cool.
So, all right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed our conversation here with Mike Luna. He's an influencer in our industry, and definitely go check him out. Glasspipes.org, Instagram, all the social media feeds. You can find him, Mike Luna 300. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoy. We'll talk to you on the next episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. You guys take it easy.
Thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you. This episode is also brought to you by C-Cube Co. C-Cube now creates a wide range of specialty and one-of-a-kind artistic glassware, items such as hand-blown wine crafts, insulated coffee mugs, pint glasses, and custom piggy banks that you can have personalized with imprinting, logos, and color accents that are available. Just go to ccubeco, that's SEACUBECO.com for more information. That's ccubeco.com. This episode is also brought to you by The Flow magazine. Since its inception, the focus of The Flow has been to provide a bond among members of the lampworking community. This has been accomplished by developing relationships with the finest artists and sharing their techniques with you through in-depth, step-by-step tutorials. In every issue, you can enjoy great content with the hottest artists and cutting-edge techniques using the latest industry products. These features, along with the continuation of the Women in Glass edition, Glasscraft Emerging Artist Awards, inspiring gallery showcases, dynamic general interest articles, as well as health and safety information, make The Flow the leading international lampworking journal. For more information or to subscribe to The Flow, go to theflowmagazine.com. That's theflowmagazine.com. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. If you have any questions, comments, or remarks, please leave them in the show notes page area where it says comments. We'll see you soon. Have a wise night.